This is Jupiter. Looks fairly calm, as it is. Just wait. Look at this. Look at this ridiculous orbit that it's making. And we're led to believe that this is reality. Looks like the Jericho missile from Iron Man. But they're going faster and slower, letting each other pass. This one, just doing a long arc around the outside, and then a quick sharp turn on the inside and back around. It's actually spending way more time on this side than this side. But you'll say it's relative, like it's doing a perfect ellipse. It's actually having to speed up and slow down. Same as our moon, actually. Our moon does a similar thing. And when it's on the outside, as the Earth's turning, the moon's having to come around the outside and beat it to do a loop around the Earth. Every time. The Earth's turning this way, the moon's having to come around the outside and then speed up even faster to take over it. Imagine having to work out the math for all of this. You'd lose your mind. Bonus points. The South Pole. Stretched into the middle. All these blurred lines into this pole. Let's speed it up and see what it looks like on the North Pole now. Another place we're not allowed to go. Oh yep, look. Blurred lines into the middle. Wonder what's there. Because it's definitely not what they're saying it is right here. Anyway, I really hope you have a great day. Much love. And I'm going to leave you with this.
You know what's crazy about SpaceX? Well, it's being celebrated that they just flew 870 miles into space, which was incredible and amazing, right? But almost 60 years ago, 50 some odd years ago, we were on the moon, which complete with the dune buggy thing and excursion, and they had less computing power than they do today. And the moon is almost 240,000 miles away. So, do you see the issue here?
Hey guys, SpaceX just launched their rocket, except it's not going where you think it is. Straight into the ocean. They never make it where they say they're going. Y'all, look at the sky in Antarctica. And this gets so much freaking crazier because it seems that chickens are being affected. Yeah, chickens. I'll get to it in a second. Antarctica is a really weird place considering you cannot go there. I'm not even kidding. A tour will let you see a very small bit of it, and that's all. And of course, who could forget the anomaly that was coming from that little island down there? And all the ridiculous waves outside of Antarctica. But let's be real. This is everywhere. The crazy part, people are reporting that the chickens have stopped laying eggs in West Palm, Florida. As the sky has currently been looking like this right here. What is that? It's 100-mile radius, and here in South Carolina, we have not seen the sun in weeks. Maybe 2 times the last whole month. Had to blank that out for you, but people are feeling it too. Is this right here your current situation as well? Sure do miss these days, but I don't think they're coming back. Watch.
Official NASA photo of the first Apollo 11 lunar module landing on the moon. I mean, it's right there. This is proof, man. It's the picture's right there. It's landing on the moon. But the only problem I have with this picture is that it's taken from the moon. I don't know what the big deal was with being the first guy on the moon. It seems the camera crew was already there. A tripod. Camera ABC.
Alright, NASA, I got a bone to pick with y'all. This right here is a picture of Mars. This right here is a picture of Devon Island, which is in Canada. And they look very much the same, except none of the rocks line up. This is all satire. It's all a big joke. Watch the video. So I decided to go on Google Earth, NASA, and we're going to check out Devon Island, and we're going to see what it's all about. Y'all ready? Here we go. Alright, so as you can see, it says the Mars-based bed and breakfast, but when you zoom around and you just kind of check out everything, they're all on four-wheelers and what is that? Mars Institute? Hold on a second. NASA, CSA, which is Canadian Space Agency. Don't forget now, this entire video is satire. It's all a big joke, fact checker, so there's no misinformation because it's just a joke that I'm making on this video. This right here is Mars. This right here is Devon Island. All they did was get a little filter and put it over it from Devon Island. And like, oh yeah, is what people say, but that's actually not true. Fact checkers, is it? I mean, really, man.
So even though we're not even allowed to venture within 200 miles of the Antarctic coast, there's scientists in Antarctica, deep within the heart of Antarctica, doing some research right now. And that research is very interesting because they're discovering something called sky ice, which is frozen oxygen. It has to get negative 360 degrees Fahrenheit to reach this state. Sky ice. I wonder why they call it that. Probably because it looks blue like the sky. But where are they getting this crystalline material from? Deep in the heart of Antarctica. I would assume that they're getting this sky ice from the firmament. And they're calling it sky ice because they're extracting it from the firmament. Now this is why none of us are allowed to venture to Antarctica. Because we would discover the truth. And it's odd that they call it Antarctica, because it's actually the Arctic Circle. But of course, this was for entertainment purposes only. So according to all of the international space agencies around the world, this is what Sirius looks like. Just some animated picture. And this is what Sirius actually looks like. That's a pretty big difference, in my opinion. In fact, such a big difference that we could be being lied to. Because this is what NASA says Venus looks like. This is what Venus actually looks like. So, is Venus even a planet? And did you know that the origin of the word planet is actually Phoenician? And it means wanderer? Because the 7 planets, or the sun and the moon and the 5 visible planets, were the wanderers. Because they didn't follow the same path as all of the other stars in the 12-star constellations. But what about the sun? Are we being lied to about the sun as well? I personally think that that's a possibility. Because just look at the difference. All you have to do is look at the difference. What do your eyes actually see and observe? And what are you being told? But of course, this was for entertainment purposes only.
I hope everybody knows by now that the fallen angels run our world. The earth is Satan's domain, and his fallen angels are at the top of the pyramid, if you will. Now, the book of Enoch, chapter 6, tells us that there were 200 of the leaders of these fallen angels. They met on Mount Hermon and they signed an agreement. At the very top of Mount Hermon, there's a building that says UN on the roof, but that's not for this video. Today we're going to talk about the Palace of Peace and Reconciliation. This is located in Kazakhstan, and it is to represent all of the world's religious faiths. Now this is a beautifully constructed building, and it's at the point of what looks to be a phoenix. Here's an aerial view. Everything in this city is futuristic. It's all kind of like symbolic looking. Across from it is the presidential palace, and there's more kind of like symbolic stuff. I can't say what that looks like, but it's all very futuristic. What's interesting is at the very top of the Palace of Peace and Reconciliation is a boardroom that has, guess how many seats? 200 seats. Could this be where the leaders of our world meet? Here's the inside of it. It is really odd to me. If you really sit back and think about, you know, the fact that Satan does run our world, and it's real that fallen angels run our world. I mean, it is a real thing that demons take physical form and rule our world, and to be looking at, you know, a place where they might all sit and meet, it is kind of creepy. It's beautiful though. Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. Now, this building was designed to represent all of the world's religions, but when you read, it says that the top floor was designed a space dedicated to meetings with leaders of a particular religion. So that sounds to me like the top floor was designed for something special. Here's the design of the building. So the sunlight's supposed to come through the top and shine down all the way to the bottom. Here's some drawings of it, but I thought that one was interesting on the right. Kind of reminds me of the ancient Egyptian pyramids that harvested energy. Now this is where it gets so odd, and it really confirms that this city is up to no good. Let's just put it that way. So down the river from these two buildings, you'll see this building, but then right in the middle of the river, there's a portal. And all of the spots around this portal, like there's one like right there. You can't, if you click on it, the portal's gone. So it does not let you view this portal up close, but if you click across the river, you will see it in plain view. And there's just people walking around next to a portal. No big deal. Probably grew up with it. Don't question it. Pretty bizarre, to say the least. So right next to the portal, there was this weather vane, and I thought it kind of looked odd in itself, kind of looked, you know, symbolic of a portal. So when you zoom in, you know, they always say that symbolism will be their downfall because it's pretty consistent. So we see this image here, and wait till I show you what this reminded me of. But it's this big circular thing with these pyramids, and they all have little animals on them. I don't know if these are little animals. I zoomed in and I can't really tell what they are, but just a big weather vane. Everything's circular like that. This is the first thing that it reminded me of. So it's always that circular thing with like blobs on it. And this is a monument to some god. I can't remember what god, some demonic god though. But this is what it reminded me of. And it's just interesting, you know, that it's all around us. And they say symbolism will be their downfall because they like their symbolism. So, you know, again, another red flag.
Anyway,
Don't ever forget
he did it.
that movies
No,
are documentaries.
that symbol isn't anywhere on the device. All right, well, what device?
Men in Black, Stargate, Contact,
Show it.
Truman Show.
If you're a truther, stop scrolling. Things are getting crazy with the UFOs, Russia, all kinds of stuff happening in the news. It's natural that many of us feel at least a little bit of fear over these topics. Now's the time to remember why you're watching the videos or why you're creating the videos or the posts. We all know at the bottom of every rabbit hole, the reason is usually to cover up Yahuwah. So we look at these things and spread these things to spread the gospel and to be prepared for the deception that's to come. The Bible constantly reminds us, do not be afraid. I want to show you some verses that I've been referencing lately. Psalms 27 says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When evildoers assail me to eat up my flesh, my adversaries and foes, it is they who stumble and fall. Though an army encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war arise against me, yet I will be confident." Deuteronomy 31. Be strong and courageous. Do not fear or be in dread of them, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave or forsake you. It is the Lord who goes before you. He will be with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. Do not fear or be dismayed. Psalms 56 says, "Be gracious to me, O God, for man tramples on me. All day long an attacker oppresses me. My enemies trample on me all day long. For many attack me proudly. When I am afraid, I put my trust in you, in God, whose word I praise. In God I trust, I shall not be afraid. What can flesh do to me?" Psalms 23. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. he restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Psalm 27. For he will hide me in his shelter in the day of trouble. He will conceal me under the cover of his tent. He will lift me high upon a rock. And now my head shall be lifted up above my enemies all around me. And I will offer in his tent sacrifices with shouts of joy. I will sing and make melody to the Lord. These are some of my favorite verses that remind me why we do this and remind me that we win in the end. Drop your favorite verse in the comments. I know a lot of us need it right now, and you never know who's going to see it and resonate with it. This is for entertainment purposes only, and these are strictly my opinions.
You need the Gleason's map so that you can see Japan, Pearl Harbor, us. Oh, that makes a little bit more sense.
Hey guys, here's a couple of my flat earth maps. It's so interesting to study about Antarctica because they have this Antarctica treaty in the 50s. The governments were exploring Antarctica and they found some stuff out and they didn't want to tell anybody. Operation Fishbowl. There's a lot of stuff if you'll research it. But Antarctica is actually not a continent. It's actually a 360-degree ice wall that goes around the geocentric flat Earth. It holds the seas in. And anywhere you try to go to the Antarctica, like the closest place over here, they do have tours and they allow some people to go there. And it's kind of close. But if you'll notice, everywhere else on the ice wall, it's so far away. Like, there's the size of the United States. Well, look how many, it's like 2 to 3 United States just to get to the edge. So that's why no one goes to it. That's why it's such a secret. And that's why people can be fooled.
It came in the mail and y'all are opening it with me. Ooh. Smell it. Woo! Here we go.
The Flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni and he lived between 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Eddie Alenkar. Known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo, I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional mapmaker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my online store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.